We are going. Well, I'm already a little behind. Yeah, so now that the Cardinals are out... Did my timer show up? Okay. Sweet. Now that the Cardinals are out, I'm going to be pretty okay with anybody who wins. I would prefer that the Rangers not win. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of anybody but the Rangers at this point, but... But yeah, Blue Jays, Astros, Royals, Cubs, I don't even care. Mets, Dodgers. It's all good with me, as long as it's not the Rangers, and thankfully now that it will not be the Cardinals. What do you like about Greinke so much? You definitely never played for the Yankees, right? He was a Brewer for a long time. Oops. Actually went through 1-1 too. I'm surprised I messed that up. Oh, gotcha, HBK. Yeah, I have a coworker. Who's a big Red Sox fan, and she She definitely thanked me for in the Astros, I guess, for that wild card win against the Yankees. Alright, so this is the first time I'm trying this trick in a run. I've been working on it a little bit. This is pretty precise. But the idea is you can skip a lot of this screen if you get the flower if you spit it out at just the right frame. I guess we'll try that again next run. And you can actually fail it. You can try that trick, like, it's something crazy. It's like 8 times. You can try and miss it 8 times before you're actually losing time to what I'm doing now. So this is actually kind of a worst case scenario because I tried it a bunch, but and having to do the slow thing anyway. Oh well. I don't think I was gonna win this race anyway. But yeah, so it's been a while since I streamed. It's been I looked at it. It's actually been almost a month. September 17th, I think, was the last time. It's a combination of vacation and kind of baseball's been a big part of my life lately. And I was actually sick last week. I was gonna stream, but it didn't work out. I didn't think you'd guys want to hear me just cough the whole time. But that doesn't mean that I haven't been working on this game. And I'm really hoping to break 2 hours tonight. I really think that's going to happen. And I'm going to get at least 2 good runs in, I think. And so that flower strat was that actually saves like 20 seconds or something like that. The thing that I messed up in the last world. But believe me, there's plenty of other things that I'll be doing to save a little time. It's not so much that I'm gonna be using different strats. It's more like I don't know. I've been practicing the game a good amount, and I think my just overall movement is getting really good. Until I start messing around and hitting things I don't ever hit. Ugh. Alright. Gotta remember what it's like to talk to people and play the game. And let's see, what else? What other news? I got a new capture card. I'm not using tonight. This is the old one. But I'll be switching streaming computers in the near future. So I stream on a Mac right now, and I'm gonna switch back to streaming on I'm gonna switch to streaming on Windows. I've only ever streamed on a Mac, but I got a new capture card, and it's a GV USB 2, which is, if you guys stream at all, you've probably heard of it. Pretty inexpensive USB capture card, but pretty good picture quality. And switching to Windows makes it a lot easier for me to deinterlace the video, so the video quality should be quite a bit better. Which I am pretty excited about. So that'll be probably next week. Maybe the week after. And Rio's forfeited from the race. Said he died on this stage, on 1-5. Nice. Yeah, Pi, it's getting pretty tough to pick against the Cubs, right? I mean, they look pretty darn good. Obviously had the second best record in all of baseball, the best being the Cardinals, so... But how does... I assume home field advantage in the NLCS still would go to either the Mets or the Dodgers, right? Because the Cubs were the wild card team. I think that's right. It kind of sucks, and I feel like they're going to change that rule soon, but they'll just make home field advantage based on actual record. But yeah, the Cubs sure do look good. Jake Arrieta looks insane. He actually looked kind of human last night, and that, I say only kind of human. And it's, I don't know, it's crazy to me that the Cardinals had their 100-some-odd wins. Just, I don't know, I guess I don't really look at their pitchers and think any of them are all that good, but I guess the point is that none of them are bad. And that's how you get to 100, but I don't know, like... The Cardinals just always seem to win 100 games to me. So I don't even pay attention to them half the time anymore. I was reminded that the Brewers won that division in like 2011. I was a little surprised to see that was, like, surprised and not at the same time. Surprised to see that was their only division championship. The NL Central. That happened because I asked my buddy. If it were to happen, would the Astros be the only team to have won a National League pennant and an American League pennant? And that would be true, but the Brewers, I never really knew that they actually did go to a World Series when they were in the American League. It was in like 1983 or something. I don't know. I wasn't even born. Come on. Man, it doesn't look like I've been practicing this. I think once I get out of World 1, the play will improve. What's up, Frosty? I'm doing pretty well. How are you? $18.49. Excellent. Is that your first sub 19, or had you done sub 19 before? I don't know why that ball doesn't hit the piranha plant sometimes. Never figured that out. Still avoided fuzzies at least. First sub 19. Well, congrats, man. What's up, Dreekus? Thank you. Definitely been a while. 4 weeks. I looked it up. Lots of travel, lots of busyness, lots of other stuff, but I'm back. It's been pretty good. I've been practicing this game quite a bit. It's not really showing on the splits just yet, but I think it will a little later. And I'm pretty sure a sub 2 is coming. If not this run, I'm pretty confident that's going to happen tonight. Pie, you know, I didn't really notice that, no. But, like, the Astros are all 26 years old. Like, that's their average age is, like, 27 or something, so it wouldn't super surprise me. But I don't know. I was on pins and needles for that game. I was really nervous just throughout. Yeah, Frosty, take care, man. Thanks for stopping by. But it just seemed like, I don't know, I really thought Beltran in the 9th was just going to instantly take Gregerson out of the park. Just to make it interesting. But it didn't happen, obviously. Gregerson actually looked really good in that game. And did not look very good last night. But yeah, that was it was a very stressful game for me. Because it's, I don't know, it's not like the Astros are just piling runs on or anything. And, you know, obviously Tanaka's a really good pitcher. He really just made like 2 mistakes. But yeah, isn't that's kind of the deal with the Yankees, right? Like, that's just part of it, you know? You know they're always going to have, like, awesome players who are established, right? What's up, R. Jeremy? Yeah, if anybody lives in Chicago and the Cubs win the World Series, take care. Be careful that night. Because it definitely will be a party. More than it would be in a lot of cities, of course. I actually have an egg. It's unusual that I have an egg right at this point. Good thing that doesn't happen very often, you know, but actually, I don't know. I kind of think the Raiders are alright this year. I know they just lost to the Bears, who are no good, speaking of Chicago, but I don't know. I kind of think the Raiders are alright. Fuck me. Man, that's a terrible place to die. Yeah, it sucks. I should take those jumps safer, I guess. Or just get better at the not safe part of the jump. There was definitely like one jam, and he got A-Rod to fly out to like center field. There was never a runner at third. And there were a couple of runners at second. I'm pretty sure Young got to second in the first inning. But yeah, nothing like no crazy jam or anything. And yeah, it's pretty crazy that he had 3 starts against the Yankees. They're all scoreless innings. Yeah, I mean, Chicago is such a crazy sports town. Did the Bears just went to the Super Bowl recently? They haven't won it recently. Yeah, I guess since the '85 Bears. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody will party the way that Chicago would party if the Cubs win. So we're gonna give this a shot. This is a little faster than the normal Baby Mario skip that I've been doing. It's a little faster to carry this toady guy, so I don't have to mess around with these shy guys like I have been. as long as the camera cooperates. Yeah. So yeah, if anybody doesn't know, it's been, I think, like our Jeremy says there, it's been since 1908 that the Cubs last won the World Series. They haven't even been to the World Series since 1945. So, yeah, I guess this would be the 70th year. It's pretty nuts. And then anybody who follows sports probably knows the name Steve Bartman. That whole thing happened in 2003. Cubs were up 3-1 in the series that would win them, take them to the World Series. They just had 3 chances to win a game to get them there and didn't do it. There's a big, it's an issue with a foul ball and a missed double play. I don't know. You can look it up. The Cubs have had it rough, to put it one way. Make it simple for everybody. Yeah, Pi, I mean, that's 4 generations of people who have been, who have existed. And there's been, like, what, 2 of those generations have lived and died, basically, without seeing the Cubs win a World Series. It's insane. When Wagner was in the league, like Honus Wagner? 1908 kind of sounds right for him. Honestly, I get a lot of that old-time baseball era kind of mixed up, but that kind of sounds right for Honus Wagner, turn of the century. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that, like, the Astros, the Astros have existed for, I think this is their 53rd season. And, they haven't won a World Series. There's lots of teams that never won a World Series, but they've been to one. And it's just crazy to think, like, it's 50 years, and that's not even close to when the Cubs last won the World Series. They... The Astros will need to have existed twice as long during that drought, if that makes sense. And I don't know if I said this, but at the beginning of September, I was in Chicago, and I went to Wrigley Field. This is the second time I've been there. I highly recommend going to Wrigley Field if you guys have never been. But it would be kind of cool to say that I saw a game at Wrigley the year that they won the series. It would be kind of fun. I don't know why that egg... I don't know why I had to use 6 eggs there. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I just watched the video. Yeah, I don't know why that 4th or 3rd egg didn't hit anything. What did I think about the Utley slide? Alright. I know what I think about the Utley slide. I think about the Utley slide basically what I thought about Didi Gregorius' slide on Jose Altuve in the wild card game, which it was a takeout slide, trying to break up a double play, not really trying to be safe, just trying to avoid the double play. Which is a dangerous play. It's like pretty clearly illegal in the rule book, but it is something that umpires have let runners get away with for a long time. I think Utley's was probably dirtier, but I still don't. I'm not prepared to say that like he was looking to hurt Ruben Tejada. Whoops, forgot my dance. I really don't think he meant to break his leg, but I do think that the broken leg is why people are up in arms about it. I think if Didi Gregorius had done the same thing and like maybe he'd broken a Jose Altuve's leg, we'd be annoyed and we'd be talking about it, but we're not because nobody got hurt. It wasn't that bad of a slide as those go. Utley's was pretty bad. I was surprised a little bit that they suspended him 2 games. But, I mean, I get it. But yeah, it's this crazy thing in baseball that, like, we have these rules that we just sort of decide to ignore in some cases. So for a long time, you know, one of the slides is, or one of those rules was the catcher blocking home plate rule. So the catcher is not allowed to block home plate unless the ball is like about to get there. Otherwise, it's considered defensive obstruction. And similarly, the runner is not allowed to just barrel into the catcher. Otherwise, that's considered runner interference. But we allowed these things for so long. Like the catcher could just stand in the path of third and home, even if the ball was still being thrown from the outfield, and the runner would have to barrel over the guy. It's amazing that more people didn't get hurt. But when Buster Posey did, Buster Posey, you know, of course, being their big star catcher, they changed the rule, and nobody cares, you know? I mean, I don't think anybody misses that rule. It's a dumb rule. Or a dumb non-enforcement of a rule, say. Yeah, if Ruben Tejada had been a star, I kind of think you're right. That it really could have been worse. Like, what if that had been, I don't know, like, it's not exactly the right position, but like Chris Bryant or something. Or yeah, even, yeah, I don't know. I don't like that play is enforced that way. I think it sucks and it's dumb. The rules pretty clearly account for that kind of shit. If you're gonna slide, you gotta be trying to be safe, you know? But I kind of think they'll look at it in the off-season. That might be the last takeout slide that you ever see. Or at least the last one that egregious. And nobody's gonna care. I mean, that's fine. It's actually really... It's interesting how rare those slides are to me. I mean, double plays happen all the time, right? But I feel like it's pretty rare that we're talking about one of those slides. Because I feel like those true takeout slides that are kind of dirty, sort of. Dirty in every sense, except that we all know that they're kind of wink-wink, nod-nod allowed. I think it's strange that those don't happen more. So, I don't know. But I think that's what's ultimately going to make it easy for them to just outrule it altogether. Oops. Not the worst middle ring for me to get. Considering I have died out here before. Is that right? Yeah, I mean, you know, they work from time to time. I feel like they just don't usually work. But yeah. Fuck. Kind of forgot how quick I needed to be there. Right. And see, that's the thing. That's the trade-off. Is like it's clearly a dangerous play. That's like almost the point, right? Is that it's a dangerous play. But it's not, I don't know. It doesn't really seem like one that we super need in baseball. It's definitely from a different era. And it would probably be, it'd be better if there weren't so clearly rules against it, you know? But there are. And so it's a selective unenforcement of the rules. Which I think is, that's kind of why I don't like it. I don't like not enforcing the rules all the time. I've kind of boned up on those. I know enough that it's definitely like Keuchel and Price for the AL, Cy Young at least. Who's gonna win it for the NL, the MVP? I know Josh Donaldson is probably the favorite for the MVP in the AL, right? Who's going to win the Cy Young for the NL? Is it... I know Jake Arrieta's got a good case, but I want to say that it's going to be like either Greinke or Kershaw. I feel like... Admittedly, my Dodgers fan buddy told me that, but I kind of think that sounds right. Those guys are pretty good. I don't know. Who would you give it to? All of them. Yeah, I mean, I know. I don't know. Price has been really good, and the thing about him is like he doesn't have the home and road splits that Keuchel does. Like he's been really good on both at home and away. And Keuchel's been like, you know, stellar at home, obviously. But hasn't been that great on the road. Like, he's been fine, but numbers-wise, it really isn't all that impressive. You think Trout will get it over Donaldson? I mean, you know, Trout is, like, always a pretty good candidate for the MVP, right? I don't know. They might break that tie with the playoff team, though. They do that sometimes. If you think it's a tie, anyway. This should be a gold. Yeah, I think that'll be a gold 3-2 right there. I think there's a chance that's the fastest I've ever done that. In, like, practice even, but I think that'll definitely be a gold for the run. Nothing wrong with that one. Well, now they can't give it to... I believe all the votes have to be in already. It at least used to be that you couldn't actually consider... I'm not talking about postseason performance. It at least used to be that you couldn't consider the postseason for those things. I was just saying that Mike Trout and the Angels didn't get to the playoffs, whereas Josh Donaldson, the Blue Jays, did. And that has seemed to be a factor in other MVP votes. Oops. Forgot where I was going. But I don't know. I learned a long time ago that following stuff like the MVP and Cy Young, it just sort of makes me mad. Because I feel like, well, it's not like they ever really give the MVP or Cy Young to somebody who doesn't deserve it necessarily. But I feel like, at least when I was growing up and in high school and college, they would constantly give it to, like, the third most deserving person. And it's on the basis of dumb things, like he hit 300, and that's better than a guy who hit like 270 with 50 home runs or whatever. Or, you know, he had 20 wins, even though he had like a 4.3 ERA, but he had 20 wins, so clearly he's a Cy Young guy. And, you know, it's just like, I don't feel like they do that really anymore. I mean, they gave the AL Cy Young to Felix Hernandez a few years ago when he only had, what, 14 wins or something. But he was the best pitcher, so, like, he really was a deserving candidate. But yeah, it kind of comes from a history of the award and its recipients just kind of annoying the shit out of me. And, like, I hate when I get started on the Hall of Fame voting. I think the Hall of Fame is absurd. But I don't know. I don't really watch that much baseball that's not the Astros, and so I sometimes lose a sense of, like, the texture of the majors. Yeah, I remember Felix had a pretty insane season, but Kluber, I mean, it's not like Kluber was a bad choice, right? Oh, and Kershaw got to 300 strikeouts to this year, didn't he? First person to do that since Big Unit. Kind of think those sexy numbers are going to get him the Cy Young. That seems right, you know. Oops. Yeah, everybody does love Felix. It was crazy. So I went to a lot of Mariners games this year, but even for going to a lot of games, I feel like half of them were Felix Hernandez starts. And the only one that was, like, destined to be a Felix start was opening day. Like, it makes sense that that one's a Felix start, right? But, yeah, I think I just got kind of lucky and saw Felix a lot this year. Yeah, I mean, no argument. Obviously, you know, I'm pretty post-wins for pitchers mattering. I mean, they kind of matter, I guess, but if you're just trying to figure out, like, if you're trying to reward the best pitcher, it's dumb to look at their win total. I did see that. Okay, so I didn't know any of this. I was shocked when I saw that Ichiro pitched, and so I obviously had to look it up. And I learned that Ichiro has apparently been saying for years, like, he kind of wants to pitch. Like, this has been... I'm shocked that I live in Seattle, and I've lived here, you know, Ichiro was here for, I think, the first 4 years that I was here. I moved here 7 years ago, that sounds about right. And I'd never heard that, like, I don't know, I had no clue he was any kind of pitcher. I knew he obviously had a good arm. And then I saw a clip of him where he was allowed to pitch in the Japanese, like the Nippon Professional Baseball All-Star game. He pitched an inning of relief in that. So, like, he does have some level of pitching acumen. I remember in that same article I was reading, they had a video of, like, one of his famous throws from right field. And they had the stat tracker or whatever that said the ball that he threw went 100 miles an hour. Like 103 or something insane. Now, obviously, it's not the same as pitching, as, you know, throwing. You know, you want to be a little more accurate when you pitch than when what he's doing, although he still had to be pretty damn accurate. But, it was pretty crazy. And yeah, he got 3 outs. He didn't strike anybody out, but I mean, half the pitchers in the majors don't seem to ever strike anybody out, so it's not that bad. I think what was it? He allowed 2 doubles and walked 1, but got the outs. Oops, jumped too early. Yeah, that's that's kind of true. And then it was just a few days later that the Marlins announced Ichiro's re-signing. Alright, Pi, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. And I do too, obviously. And it was just a few days later that they announced that Ichiro would stay a Marlin. And so, he's probably going to get his 3,000th hit as a Marlin, which is kind of crazy. I just really thought Seattle would just, like, be sure to bring him back for hit number 3,000. Oops. Wow. I don't remember ever struggling on that before. Oh yeah. I think it's been easier for me to get over that because the Astros were moved out of their, out of the National League, and so I just I don't really regard the Marlins much anymore. I know I can tell you from experience that a lot of people still don't know that the Astros are in the American League. Which is kind of funny, I guess. I feel like basically only Astros fans know that. Whoops, I forgot what I was supposed to do. Fuck. Oops, that's not gonna work. No. The first round has always been best of 5. The next 2 rounds, the League Championship Series and the World Series, those will be best of 7. But yeah, the Division Series round has been best of 5 for, I don't know, as long as I can remember. So certainly like the last 15 years or so. And similarly, I remember when the first round of the NBA playoffs was best of 5. But now all 4 rounds there are best of 7. I'm surprised I gained time on that. How many eggs do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Full eggs. It's just water. It is in a wine bottle, though. But if I PB, we'll get a real nice beverage. Yeah, there sure are. I haven't really actively followed the NBA in quite some time, but all of my friends say it's a really good league these days. It's like, you know, really fun to watch. Give me one more. One more. Ooh, I forgot to practice something. Who's your team in the NBA? So when I really actively followed it, I was a big Spurs fan. But it's been, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years, maybe more than that, since I really knew a lot about the NBA. Oh, I got you. Is Gilbert Arenas... You think of Gilbert Arenas as shady? I'm sure you're right. There's probably a lot of shit I don't know about Gilbert Arenas. But when I was in college, he was just like the goofy guy. Like, super weird. You know, it was kind of strange that he was number 0. He was blogging when nobody else was. Like, that was a big thing back then. Okay, the Bucks. Nice. Gilbert Arenas would, like, you know, like yell hibachi and quality shot and take a 3-pointer and then, like, Like a three-pointer that was going to win the game and he just knew it so he wouldn't even watch it go in. Give Arenas was the shit. Yeah, now that you mention that, you are definitely right. He is the one who brought a gun to the locker room. I definitely had forgotten about that. I don't think he was, like, all that great of an NBA player anyway. Like, he scored a lot of points, but, you know, it's, sometimes you need more than just a pure scorer, and that's really all he was. There were a lot of stats that said he wasn't actually, like, any good at defense and other things that help you win a basketball game. And it's like, you can always find somebody who can just score 30 points. Like, that's really not that hard to find. But you don't have to pay him $15 million to do it. Or whatever they were paying Arenas. Because I remember the Wizards were giving him a pretty big contract. I don't remember him. I know he went to Arizona, but I don't remember him in college at all. But I don't remember a lot of these guys in college, to tell you the truth. I don't follow general college basketball as much as I maybe should. The only sports I really follow generally are baseball and NFL. Where I feel like I have a good handle on everything that's going on. And I don't even feel that way about baseball all the time. Yeah, man, I remember that. I was in my I was a sophomore in college, and I remember that happening. I remember the night too. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing on TV. It was so absurd. And I remember I went to a party and I was just like breaking the news to the party because not everybody had heard about it. I like got to the party and I'm like, guys, you gotta turn on Sports Center. You gotta see what the fuck just happened in Detroit. And it was just insane. Isn't Steven Jackson still around, isn't he? I guess Meta World Peace. Did he retire or is he still a Laker? Not that those two things are all that different right now. But I think Meta World Peace is still around. Yeah, chickened out. Fuck. I have no clue if Steven Jackson's still around though. Fuck. Yeah, it could have been better. Oh well. And you know, depending on who you ask, they would say Ben Wallace started the Malice at the Palace. But I guess Ron Artest is who had the hard foul. Or some people would even say Steven Jackson started it. Until Steven Jackson got involved, you know, it was just like a little fight or whatever. It wasn't that big a deal. And then Steven Jackson's the one who punched fans. I feel like I remember that Steven Jackson thing. What a strange guy. Maybe, I don't know, strange might not be the right word. Might not do him justice. Fuck. Fuck! Oh, that happens in practice sometimes, and it's the worst. Not as bad as it could be, I guess. At least that was just the first room. So those blue spikes are insta-death in this game, and they are not very sympathetic. Yeah, that's going to be about 2 minutes or so. Maybe not that long. But not good news. Yeah, that's the idea. I think it's like a minute and a half or so. That's what that, to that point, I've usually spent on that room. With hockey, nah, not really. It's definitely the, you know, the one of the big four sports that I follow the least. I know a little bit about it though. It's like random whether that guy is shooting at me or at the wall. Knew more about hockey at like late 90s, early aughts. The Kane incident? Patrick Kane, I think is his name? No, I didn't. What happened there? I mean, I might have. I might just not be recalling it right now. I know that name, certainly. Hey, Ashan. Long time indeed. But we're back. Allegedly raped a girl. Nice. That's nuts. Found not guilty. But it went to trial and everything. Is that right? How did that happen? Well, that's kind of where that's when I was mostly paying attention to it. Like, really, like 99 to 2004, maybe 5 was kind of my sweet spot for hockey. Not coincidentally, that's when the Dallas Stars were decent. That doesn't seem like a bad deal, Ash. Both the U.S. versions of the card, I would guess, not the hip Japanese version. Need 6 eggs. All right, I'm gonna try something that I don't really know how to do. Oops. Yeah, nice. I've been watching him mount numbers a lot. Just kind of picking up a few tricks here and there. And he has that trick where if you spit the roly-poly guy at just the right time, gives you a little speed boost, a little back boost, if you will. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, the Japanese, like the Super Famicom versions are actually pretty cheap. I've never really seriously considered getting one, but I looked around a little bit, and it's kind of interesting how cheap they are. I guess my impression of them was that they would be more expensive, but no, Ash, I definitely have learned. I've been learning new strats, to be honest. It's not that I haven't been playing the game at all. I haven't done any runs, but I've been practicing quite a bit. It's not exactly showing up on the timer just yet, but I think it will on the second run. And I'm definitely not that far behind, really. You're talking about the Danny Heatley thing. Yeah, I definitely remember that. When, like... That was the one where he, like, took the guy down and shoved his face on the ice or something like that, right? That was him? Or was he the one who got in, like, vehicular homicide? Something or other. I can't keep these crimes straight. Man, fuck the crab. He never moves that far over. Hey, Jace. Jacey? It's been about 3 weeks since I last streamed. Or no, 4. More like 4. But I'm back. I should be back once a week now. Can you mod your US Super Nintendo to play Famicom carts? Or is it more just like you might as well just buy the Super Famicom? Fuck that. That's garbage. Going the slow way. Okay, interesting. I feel like I've heard of that. Is the N64 kind of the same way? I know I think I've heard that it's not that ridiculous to mod your US N64 to play Japanese cards. I don't know, maybe I am thinking about the Super Nintendo. Fuck. I think I'm fucked right now. Yeah, I just gotta go back. Fuck. I normally don't like to fall down that pit again. More into going up here. Now I only have 3 eggs. This is not ideal right now. So you want to have 4 eggs at this point, because it takes 4 eggs to get a hit in on this boss, and the boss will give you eggs. Like, that's not. It doesn't take like forever or anything, but it sucks because now I gotta go get some eggs from him rather than just having the eggs to kill him. I think Nightmare is about 3 or 4 minutes ahead of me. Sorry about all the crying, but you don't always have to go back and get Baby Mario if you're about to kill the boss. Yeah, that's what I thought, Ash. Okay. Yeah, I've definitely heard that's pretty simple to do. Hey, what's up, Vokick? What emote is that? Baby Rage? So I think there's a pretty good amount of time to save in World 5. I think that's where we might end up in the green after this. That's a good 5-1. Pretty darn good. Hey, what's up, Curly? How you doing, man? Replay sucks in all sports. You can write that down. It's my opinion. Oh, no audio. Hi, Curly. Nice. What's up with the replays? We're talking about like challenges and instant replay in sports, like that can overturn calls and things like that. I personally hate it, but some other people have other opinions, I suppose. I think the NFL system is among the dumber. The chief thing that they get wrong. So if anybody's not familiar, in the NFL, if a play doesn't get called your way, you can challenge the play with the official. They'll look at it, and if you're right, they'll reverse the call. Can't always do it, but you often can. And the way that you do it is you tell the official, I want to challenge whatever, but you have to have a timeout remaining to do that. And so the idea is that if you end up being right about the call, then the call will be reversed. But if you end up being wrong about it, and the call stands, that you've stopped play, and you have to be charged something for that, and so they charge you a timeout. And so you can't challenge a play unless you have a timeout remaining. And to start the game, no matter what, you get 2 challenges. And if you successfully challenge, like, so if you challenge 2 things and they both get overturned in your favor, you get a 3rd challenge. But once you've used all 3, you no longer get to challenge anything. Which I think is really dumb. I think that's the dumb part of that system. I think as long as you have a timeout and you keep being right about shit, I feel like you should be able to challenge. So I think that's pretty dumb, that you could be right 3 times, and then not be able to challenge again. I mean, especially like, and you see it sometimes, that there are 3 challengeable plays in like the first quarter, and then like you've already burned your challenges, but you know, I mean, you had to challenge, you were right each time, but you're done challenging for the rest of the game. So it's pretty dumb. I personally think that if you're gonna have that challenge system, what's up, Aqua? Long time, man. If you're gonna have that challenge system, then at least let the coach challenge as long as he has something to lose, right? Or maybe have a maximum of like 1 wrong challenge per game or something like that if you want. I don't know. But I think the big argument with it is just it takes away the onus, or the emphasis, I guess, on getting a call right in the first place. Whereas when a challenge system is in effect, you almost want to just make the call that can eventually be challenged. And so it seems to affect the officiating. You know, there's not as much emphasis on being right, it's just emphasis on making it so that you can change the call later. Which, I don't know, seems kind of backwards. And then, like, sometimes you'll have a call that gets overturned, and then a different result plays out, but that result wouldn't have played out if that call had just been made on the field at that time. So, like, actually, in a football game this weekend that I was watching, a referee signaled that a player had gotten into the end zone for a touchdown. But then the play was challenged, and they were looking at that player may have fumbled the ball before he got into the end zone. But the problem with that is that while it did look kind of like he was fumbling the ball before he got into the end zone, the point is that nobody was trying to recover that fumble because the referee had signaled touchdown. You know, they stopped playing. They thought play was dead. They were celebrating a touchdown because that's what the ref said. And so if that call had been overturned, which it wasn't, there wasn't proof enough that he was fumbling or whatever. But if the call had been overturned and possession given to the other team, that would have been really dumb. I mean, the call on the field was a touchdown, so the team that thought they scored a touchdown stopped trying to worry about possessing the ball, and they were just, you know, having fun with each other. So that's a problem. I mean, if you're going to have a challenge system, you know, you kind of face these types of situations when you talk about going back and reversing the way a call happens. So the NHL actually has an interesting system for goals. They've had review on goals for a while. So in the NHL, to score a goal, the puck has to cross, every part of the puck has to cross the line, the goal line. And so as you can imagine, sometimes you can question whether or not all of the puck did or not. It's kind of hard to know in real time. Maybe it hits the post, maybe it comes in, but then zooms back out, something like that. I don't know. But the way the NHL does it is generally speaking, close calls like that will be ruled no goal, and play will continue. And then at the next stoppage of play, the refs will take a look at it on review. And if it's deemed that the puck did actually cross the line and should be a goal, they'll award the goal and reverse the clock to whatever it would have been when that goal had been, or whatever it was when that goal was actually scored. So you may end up having to play another, a minute of the game over again, something like that. But that makes at least sense to me, because, goal or not, you're going to play a different game. Like, the score clearly influences the play, especially in hockey. So, I mean, that's basically sane to me. I personally just don't think challenge is, I don't think it's important that we call these games exactly perfectly. To me, I say it's just sports. That was an alright fight, actually. Yeah, so I guess NHL has expanded replay. Somehow, I think college football actually kind of gets it the most right. Did I? I must have died on 5-4. I'm gonna be, saving a minute. Oh, no. I remember what happened. Anyway, I basically died on 5-4. College football gets it somehow the most right to me. Where they just say everything is reviewable, and generally speaking, a coach has challenges, but they don't really have to challenge anything in practice, because all the calls are reviewable. And if there's anything close, they stop play and take a look at it. I mean, it kind of sucks, because I don't like that it interrupts play so often. But at least you're not inventing this currency of dispute, that being the challenge. That is, you still kind of have it, but anything close is going to be reviewed. I think it's pretty rare in college football for a coach to feel like they have to use a challenge, because in a really legitimate scenario. So, if you're gonna do it, I kind of like that. I think the NFL could learn a lot from that system. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't really like college football that much. Yeah, you can buy more challenges. That'd be a good art project. Take some points off the board, I don't know, how much is that challenge worth? Would you take 3 points off the board? Eh. I think that's a flower. Nope, stars. I want stars. So I'm trying something new out. This is the first time I've really tried to collect stars on this level. Usually you kind of avoid stars in the any %, or in the Warpless speedrun rather. Because you don't really expect to be without Mario all that often. But in this particular level, I learned a tough lesson a few runs ago, where if you don't get this middle ring, which is kind of a checkpoint, and you die after that, then you have to do the whole auto-scroller all over again. And that sucks, so it's better to go ahead and... It's a pretty low investment to just get the middle ring. Pretty low cost. And it's even lower if you have a bunch of stars going into it. And so, like, if I already have 30 stars as I hit the middle ring, it only stops me for, like, I don't know, for, like, a quarter of a second. Instead of, like, the normal 2 seconds that it does. And if I die, if I fuck up the end of the stage, obviously I don't have to go back nearly as far. So, I haven't really tried this, but I'm assuming it'll be fine. Oops. So I have 29 stars now, so that's pretty good. Okay. Anyway, so I have, what, 27? So this won't take as long. And I accidentally despawned that guy. But that's alright. Not a big deal. Kind of forgot my strat. We're okay. Yeah, not a disaster. Anyway, yeah, I died in this last screen, and it was like a 3-minute time loss, or 4 minutes time loss, maybe. Pretty bad. Oops. God, that scares me every single time. Nice. 5-7 is one that I was kind of struggling with in warm-ups today. But that was pretty good. Nothing too wrong with that. Alright, and I believe this had a death in the PV, so definitely some time we can make up here if I can stay alive.
Ah, fuck.
Totally forgot that I want to lead with an egg there now. Two eggs, that's the magic number right there. I had been shooting one. And... anyway, 2 eggs is what I need to do there now. That was great. Oops. Alright, Raph. It's tradition to ask Raph to go left. Although his right, maybe? My left. On the screen, I guess. So in keeping with tradition, Raphael, please go left. Nope. Nice, not bad. Yeah, Raphael, not Ralph, sorry. What's up, Bruno? Hola. Nightmare says I'm ahead of him. I think Nightmare got stuck on 5-4 skip if I'm ahead of him. There is so much that can go wrong on 6-1 right there. I'm glad I got that done. Oh, Bruno, the Portuguese is bad these days. I think you're asking me how am I doing in Portuguese, is that right? Not that the Portuguese was ever good for me. I have one egg. I really prefer more than one egg. There, two's good. Kind of forgot what I was doing for a second there. How do you respond to that usually? Just boom? Está bem obrigado? Yeah. Well, that's how I'm doing. I'm doing well. I don't know, Ashley, that sounds pretty similar to English, you know? Woo. Ooh. Thanks for the update, Laos. Alright. So I know I died in 6-8, so that's another death I can take off the board here. I don't exactly remember how these others went. I kind of think 6-4 was sloppy. Mostly because it's always sloppy. Maybe I died in 6-3, I don't even remember. Oh, man. Almost a fuzzyless round. That was the only fuzzy I'd hit this round. Yeah, that makes sense. That's definitely the English speaker in me, where, you know, we use words that don't always have to agree with the context. Yeah, bam, okay. I was remembering my phrases the other day, actually, like bom dia and boa noche. So, boa noche, Bruno? Whoops. Could have been bad, but wasn't. You know, when I was learning Portuguese, I really didn't think it was that difficult of a language. I thought I was decent at picking it up at least. Come on. Is that it? That's it. That's a decent kill. Especially for me, that's a decent kill. Right. And it's kind of confusing for Gia and Neutje, because Gia ends in A but is a masculine word, and so you say boom. And but you say Boa Neutje, which doesn't end in A. But Neutje is feminine. I feel like that's pretty common in languages. Just it's the most common phrases that are the most annoying ones and the most inconsistent. I think I have 5. I hope I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. 5. I must have died in 4-4. I don't know. I guess this last cutscene takes a while too. It doesn't take a minute though. Yeah, I must have struggled in 6-4. Didn't this time though. That was a pretty good 6-4. Probably gold. Yep. I've actually been thinking about trying to learn Spanish. I forgot about that guy. Lately. I might do that. Does anybody here know Spanish? Is it pretty easy to pick up? I mean, I've lived in Texas and, I live in America, so I'm definitely exposed to Spanish quite a bit. I probably know more already than I think. But, yeah, I think it'd be kind of fun to, and potentially useful to know a different language that I could actually use. Not many people speak Portuguese in Seattle. Oh, is that right? Why is that? Is Spanish a little too close to Portuguese, I guess? Because it's kind of similar, but it's also really different in a lot of ways. Portuguese is to Spanish. Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be confusing. What's wrong, Curly? You still have no audio? Somebody ask Curly what's wrong. What's he so upset about? That was almost bad. That was almost real bad, because I didn't get that middle ring either. That was almost very bad. And instead it was fine. This is gold. Jesus. Oh yeah. Was the sky cam was that bad? So we're just getting his stream of consciousness. That of the NHL player. I like that idea. Whoops. So I actually have like a minute to save on this. Because it took me a long time to get this perfect flutter. That I just got first try. Yeah, this is going to be a major time save. Oh yeah, buffering. Is anybody else having problems with buffering? Does it look okay for most people? Oh, is that right, Bruno? I thought Brazil had a really strong economy. Not buffering there, okay. This is the first one, Curly. There will definitely be a second one. Alright, well I've hit all the hard stuff in this level. Interesting. Yeah, I do remember that name Petrobras from my short time in Brazil. But yeah, I don't think most Americans have ever heard of it. I certainly hadn't before I went there. Not exactly, Ash. Not exactly. Kind of a visual cue for this. I'd like to get the Yoshi copter's nose right at the top of that brush, kind of right in the middle. So I let Kamek get on the screen and then do that. Alright, well I think I've guaranteed, assuming I don't die to Kamek, I think I've guaranteed myself at least 2 good shots at sub 2 here. I can die to, like, as long as I get to Bowser, I can die and still probably recover it. But yeah, this is a pretty good run, actually. This it leveled out. You can see a lot of red at the beginning, but yeah, definitely leveled out. A lot of gold too. Yeah, definitely got some epic music coming up. How's that Dodgers-Mets game going? Last I saw, the Dodgers were up 3-0. But that was lots of innings ago. Dodgers win 3-1. Damn. So we're gonna have 3 game 5s. That's pretty good. That is pretty cool. There you go. Ash knows. thought that was short for sure. Nice. Excellent. Very, very good. Gonna be, yeah, sub 158. That's a hell of an improvement. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oh yeah, type done. What's up, CLD? 157.36. All right, that's, you know, okay. So that's not unexpected, and I know that I haven't been around. I haven't been streaming a lot, but I have been practicing quite a bit, and so that is not a totally unexpected time for me. I really did think that I'd break 2 hours next time I did a run, and I'm very, very happy with that. Let's check out what went wrong. What's up, Chini?